Hello, everyone. My name is Catherine Houtinen, and I am the director of Mad Pow Center for Health Experience Design. And I'm here joining Melissa Gopnik, who was just on the exciting panel we just had, so you know her well. And what we're here to do is to announce the winners of our Design and Innovation Challenge Benefit Selection for Financial Security. This was launched back in June at our Health Experience Design Conference here in Boston. And what it came from is that Commonwealth came to us and said, you know, there's a lot of people now at open enrollment, especially those that have lower incomes, like less than $55,000 a year, and they're faced with selecting benefits, health benefits, that make sure that they don't have surprise medical expenses, or that they actually know how to leverage things like HSAs, because there's so much confusion out there. So this is what our challenge was, launched up in June, and this was a challenge question we launched out. And it's like, can you design an innovation to improve the health insurance open enrollment experience so that it protects the financial vulnerable from hardship? So you want to give a little background there?
Sure. So at Commonwealth, so we're a mission-driven nonprofit organization. And what we do is we talk to people who are financially vulnerable. And what happened a couple of years ago is we kept hearing over and over again, my medical expenses. I'm not going to the doctor, or if I have to go to the doctor, I can't afford the bills. And that medical expenses were a huge contributor to financial hardship. Our mission is around financial challenges, but we found that medical challenges were contributing to those financial challenges. And so we started asking more questions. And what we found was high deductible health plans, badly designed high deductible health plans, were a huge contributor to this, right? But we also found they were well-designed high-deductible health plans. So it wasn't just throw that baby out because high-deductible health plans were bad. It was how they were being designed. And then when we dug even deeper, we figured out open enrollment was a key component of that, right? As I was talking at breakfast this morning, it's a little bit like doing your taxes open enrollment. We all have to do it every year, and we all hate it. I mean, none of us really understand all the paperwork, but we do it year after year, right? And so we teamed up with Mad Pow because we were like, there's got to be a better way, right? There's got to be a better way to do open enrollment that allows people to both get the right medical care and not end up bankrupt. And so that's what we started talking with Mad Pow, and we decided to open up this innovation challenge to all of the smart people in the world to help us figure out the better way to do that.
So, as Melissa already stated, it really is about benefit selection. It's that one time of the year you sit down and you have to take out your magic 8-ball or your fortune-telling tarot cards and say, okay, what's my health going to be this year? How do I pick the best plan or save enough money so that when I get blindsided, there's the money there for it? And it's really a challenge. And so that's why we really came up to benefit selection, as Melissa said. And also the thing is that people are now just flummoxed by how big their deductibles are getting, right? So people are sometimes just picking the cheapest deductible because they can barely afford that, or the highest deductible because the premiums are lower. And so the average deductible has grown 125% between 2006 and 2015. And again, for the financially vulnerable, that is a huge impact for them.
Right. I mean, I think as we've already cited this statistic that so many people don't have enough money saved for just dealing with the daily emergencies. So if your kid wakes up at 3 in the morning with an ear infection, right, the last thing you want to be thinking about is how am I going to pay for this, right? You don't want to be thinking, oh, I have to take out my credit card and it'll end up costing me, 22% more because I'm not going to be able to afford to pay that credit card. So it's a huge challenge for everything. And health expenses have now become the #1 cause of bankruptcies in this country.
So when we started off this project with Melissa, we did a participatory design workshop in which we brought in our target audience for this. We brought in a bunch of people that made less than $55,000 a year that had the opportunity to select a high deductible health plan from their employer. So some were married, some were single, some had children, some did not. And we also invited some people from the financial community that were vice presidents of financial companies or in research institutes. And we all sat around tables together and we did journey maps about, let's talk about how your health experience goes throughout the year, starting from open enrollment until the next open enrollment. Kind of talk about how you engage with that healthcare system. And then we also had them at the end of the workshop design a magic object, which is, if you could design anything to fix this, what would it be, and explain it. And we got some really great insights out of this workshop. And one of the key things we realized is that the VP of the financial company had no better understanding of his HSA and how to leverage it than the $40,000 a year single mom with 3 kids. Like, we're all confused. Like, nobody could really give an explanation of what's co-insurance, what's an FSA versus an HSA. It was a pretty daunting realization. So even though this is targeted at lower income people, there's a lot that came out of the submissions that I think are applicable to pretty much any open enrollment design out there. So I know there's people in the room that really want this information, and there's people that have dialed in that want this information. So we got submissions from across the United States, from startups, from more established companies, from groups of students. It was pretty exciting to go through everything and look at it and really understand what insights they had and what kind of research they did. So we have 5 overall winners, 3 of which are honorable mention and 2 that are like first prize winners. So I'm going to first start off with the honorable mentions and tell you why we selected these. And there's actually going to be more information on our website later today, and there's a brochure out at the table with information about these solutions if you want to go pick it up after the session. So first, honorable mention. So this one really stood out because they did a lot on financial literacy. And as you're going to hear Marley talk next about, financial literacy is a huge thing of we are all confused about how to understand our money. And so this one had an outstanding focus on financial literacy, as well as their visual design is just absolutely beautiful. Amy wants to hire you if you're out there. So the winner of this first honorable mention is the company LifeSense. So round of applause. You can go to lifesense.com and check them out. Okay, second honorable mention. So it was interesting. We got, like I said, a lot of different types of people, students, startups, bigger companies. And we also got employers that are trying to do a good job for their employees, which was really kind of gratifying to see, that how much some employers are really concerned about the financial wellness. So there's one company that came in that really was like, they have put so much time and thought and design into a program that's launching in the spring that's hopefully going to transform their employees' financial well-being. And that company is Health First Benefits Team. Okay, so our final honorable mention. This one was a beautiful solution. It was really compelling to look at. It was just fun naming conventions and really interactive and just a beautiful solution. But they also had features that we thought were really exciting. They had features such as HSA recommendations. They had micro-learning about showing up when you're in the process about how to learn about this thing right now. And they also offered flex payments, which was quite different than other solutions that we had submitted. And the winner of this honorable mention is the Slalom Boston team. So I know they're here, so thank you. And I'm going to pass it over to Amy to announce the big award winners. Oh, sorry, Melissa.
Like, Amy's like, what? I don't know.
Yeah, you don't need this. Okay.
So we had 2 awards. One was about a best open enrollment solution, so who could come up with a better way of doing open enrollment? And the judges, we had a panel of 6 judges from all across the country look at all the submissions, and the submissions will be available on the CHXD website soon. And what really impressed the judges about this submission was how they had thought about the financially vulnerable and what their needs were, and how they combined both medical information and financial information. So they not only asked questions about healthcare utilization, what doctors do you use, what kind of prescriptions do you have, what hospitals, what specialists do you have, but they also ask questions about their financial situation. What's your income? How much savings do you have? What are your savings goals? Things like that. And then they combine both the medical and financial information to help people pick the best plan for them. They also looked at risk, right? Are you the kind of person who likes to take risks, or the kind of person who doesn't like to take risks? And they combined all of that into what they called this is going to give it away, a plan picker that really used the power of AI to help people decide what is the best plan for them. And so with no further ado, the winner of the best open enrollment solution is Team Meerkat. They're a group of graduate students from Berkeley, so they're on the phone all the way from California. So Elena, Marielle, and Emily, we'd love to thank you so much for this mission, and congratulations. And then our prize number 2.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Are you guys on there?
Yes!
So congratulations. We were excited by your work, and I'll be circling back with you after the conference.
Yeah, thanks so much. We're so honored. This has been such a fun challenge and such an important issue, so thank you for putting this together, and thanks to Mad Pow and Commonwealth. I just also wanted to add that there's one more team member not mentioned, Cindy, who did the video and was a big part of the team. But thank you guys so much. We're so excited. We, again, enjoyed the process so much.
Okay, thank you guys.
And then prize number 2, somehow I feel like I'm at the Oscars or something, I don't know, was to best ongoing support after open enrollment. Because not only is it important to pick the right plan, but then you have to learn how to use it, right? And what we loved about this submission was they realized that health savings accounts have huge potential, right? That if people used them the way they were intended to be used, they could transform people's lives. And so what we thought was they really developed an app that can go on top of your health savings account that allows you to make it personalized, to visualize it. They had features around using a virtual health savings account credit card, right? I know in my wallet, I have my little health savings account credit card, but my daughter, she doesn't have one. So if she has to go to the doctor and I'm not there with her, I have to go through this whole rigmarole, getting reimbursed and all of that. But the solution they came up with, it would be on her phone. So you could use it as a virtual payment, which was just, wow, yeah, clearly, right? All of us carry our phones around. Maybe a few of us, especially younger folks, carry around their wallets, right? So it just seemed like such a wonderful innovation. So with no further ado, the winner of the best ongoing support after enrollment is Care Collective. And I don't know if they're here.
Are you guys on the phone? Julie, Candace, Mickey, are you out there?
Nope.
Hit *6 if you have to unmute. Okay. Okay. So, like I said,
You were right. We are unmuted.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much. We're very excited, and we are just so glad that you all thought that our idea is something that could work out in the market.
Thank you so much for your submission. And like I said, you'll be hearing from me shortly. So, like I said, the solutions in all their glory are going to be up on the Center HXD website soon. So I was afraid to push live too quickly. So hopefully later today, everything will be up and running. But in the meantime, I do have a brochure that we've designed with an overview of all of the solutions at my table. So come on over. Got fresh off the presses this morning, so I want to make sure you all get a copy. And so next steps we're going to be doing is that we are planning to do a webinar in which we're going to dive a little bit more deeply into the solutions and what the key takeaways and insights are to hopefully make it really usable. These are open source solutions, so any ideas that were submitted are open. If anybody wants to take them and run with them, that's great. We're also potentially, if you want to work with one of the winners closely, we can help set that up as well. Like the whole point of doing this is not just to have ideas, but actually to put them into action. So we are committed to making that happen. And like I said, we'll also be publishing more insights. We have a very high level right now, but there's a lot of digging we still need to do, and like specific recommendations and guidelines for designing open enrollment plans and like how to help your employees deal with their benefits usage throughout the year. So thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Great. Thank you.